In today's video, I will quickly and simply explain how you can get this cool cinematic dark aesthetic look that I really like on my Instagram using nothing but Capcut and your phone. Step 1 is to shoot something that is dark and cinematic. Bonus if it's raining or snowing. If you're shooting on an iPhone, for example, what you want to do is lock your exposure to around -1 stops of exposure. You don't want to shoot too dark in this phase, just make sure the highlights are not blown out, and the rest we'll achieve in CapCut later. Step 2 is to open CapCut. It doesn't really matter which device you use. I like the phone for convenience, although the desktop has more features like LUT support, which is really useful if you're bulk editing a bunch of footage. And I'm screen recording this on my iPad just so I can get the wider aspect for YouTube. It is easier to explain this way. By far the best way to make things darker on CapCut is the brightness feature, and not to be confused with brilliance or shadows or exposure. So dragging the slider down further in post is a really good way to make your footage have that dark aesthetic. Also, you want to make sure you edit in a room that is not filled with sunlight at the time and have your brightness set to close to maximum just to get a consistent editing environment. My second favorite feature to make things darker is the vignette feature, because this way we can kind of achieve even an illusion of darkness without losing the detail in the middle. I use this on almost every reel that I make. After this point, things get a little bit more subjective. Personally, blue is my favorite color, so I like to introduce a little bit of blue into my footage. Probably the simplest way to achieve this is to drag the temperature towards the colder portion and then compensate the tint. And then we can just drag this adjustment layer over the rest of the clips and make slight adjustments in brightness and color to introduce more consistency. And as you can see, we really don't need to do all that much in editing to achieve this look, as long as you record a footage that is already suitable for this aesthetic. But sometimes you want to go a step further and add stuff like individual color editing on HSL, or do more editing in curves for a little bit more refined color. But honestly, for these clips, I didn't do any of that. I was already very happy with the results here. If you want to edit something in bulk and make several reels at a time, the desktop app is a better option, especially because then you can use a LUT to make the color grading process even faster. And I have a couple of those on my website. Then of course the next step is to add some music and make cuts according to the beat, at least optionally, and maybe even add a caption. And if you want to learn how to get the best possible quality while posting on Instagram, whether it's stories or reels, please check this video while I share all those optimal settings.